Okay, this training module is called The More You Prospect, the Luckier You Get. This is pulled from Jeb Blunt's book called Fanatical Prospecting, probably one of the most important chapters in the entire book, discussing the foundational components of prospecting and the three core laws of prospecting, which we'll be getting into, which is the universal law of need, the 30-day rule, and the law of replacement. A quote from Dale Carnegie: inaction breeds doubt and fear. Action breeds confidence and courage. If you want to conquer fear, do not sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Well, we've heard that a million times. Dale Carnegie, Grant Cardone, basically the more time you give fear, the more it grows. Don't give fear any time at all. Let me clear that out here. Let's get into it. And I think I just made a mistake here. There we go. Okay. Three core laws of prospecting. The unrelenting daily imperative for every salesperson is keeping the pipeline filled with qualified prospects. We have what we call a Sweet 16, and that's our version of that. We're going to soon name it the Sweet 20. Keeping that pipeline filled with 20 A buyers, not B and C's, but A buyers will guarantee your success in real estate. When someone closes, you'll fill the pipeline. That's called the law of replacement, which we'll get into as one of those core laws. Top sales pros spend 80% of their time prospecting for a reason: to get up to the plate often, to get in front of potential buyers. In sales, it's not about what you've sold, but what you sell today in the form of appointments set and bringing new buyers into the pipeline. And there are three core laws of prospecting that ensure that you're moving a steady stream of prospects into that pipe, and we'll go over those right now. The three core laws of prospecting. Number one, law one, is the universal law of need, which states that the more you need something, the less likely it is that you'll get it. Desperation magnifies failure. Example: thoughts focus on what you don't want, such as being broke, by tapping into the downside of the law of attraction. Like attracts like, and when you focus on something that you don't want, you'll draw that into you, and because you're in a desperate state, it's magnified, and your thoughts are surrounding the thing that which you do not want, and you're drawing more of that to you. It punishes you for not executing daily action for success. And when you're desperate, you try to will the world to your unreasonable deadlines. Buyers aren't going to care that you're behind your quota. Buyers aren't going to care that you forecasted a certain sales amount and you're behind, or that you don't have any money as a result of those inactivities earlier on in the quarter or the month or the week. And so you can't will the world to respond to that. Alternatively, when you prospect daily and your pipeline is full, the sales gods show up and bless you with unexpected sales and opportunities. It's amazing what starts to happen when you get busy. When you put all the other stuff aside and stop making excuses and get after it, all of a sudden opportunities show up. I've seen it happen a million times in my real estate career, and it's all a result of getting after it, picking up the phone, and calling people. Law number two is the 30-day rule. 30-day rule states that the prospecting you do in this 30-day period will pay off in the next 90 days. So your activity in December will impact your income in March. 90 days later. Think about that in real estate. That's the timeline we're working off of here, folks. If you're making calls in December, it's going to impact closings in March because of real estate's cycle. You're showing buyers homes. It takes 30 to 60 days to find them one, then they're going to close. That's a 90 days out. It's difficult to find motivation to prospect when you feel like a loser. So if you miss a day of prospecting, it will impact you 90 days later. So the best way to follow the 30-day rule is to be focused on what you're supposed to be doing this day, this week, this quarter, and this year. Each and every day. Remember that. 90 days later, you're going to see the result of that activity or inactivity. Law number three is the law of replacement, which simply states that you must replace closed prospects. You must do so at a rate that matches your closing ratio, and you replace the opportunities that naturally fall out. Closings, people change their minds, etc. If you have 16 people in your 16 buyers in your Sweet 16 and you have 4 closings that month, congratulations, you've made over $12,000. Now, what do? You celebrate, and then you get back on the phones again. You have to replace those buyers that you've lost to closings, and you can't celebrate too long. Get after it again and replace those people back in your Sweet 16. That is job number one, after client satisfaction, of course. 99% of a sales slump can be linked directly to a failure to prospect. So now we're going to talk about Sales slumps, what happens when you get into one and how you get out. So here's the anatomy of a sales slump. See it time and time again where a buyer falls into this by ignoring the 30-day rule, and they stop prospecting. As a result of that, because they stop prospecting, they ignore the law of replacement and the pipeline stalls. Because prospects in your pipeline are dead, you stop closing deals. And then as you experience this failure, there's an erosion of your confidence. This creates a negative self-talk which further degrades your confidence. It wrecks your enthusiasm and causes you to feel like a loser. Feeling like a loser saps your motivation for prospecting activity. And because you don't feel like prospecting, you call the same dead leads, dead prospects, and get nowhere. People that pretty much you've been talking to for a long time, and they're not buying a house. And you know that you could pick up the phone and get on the dialer and call leads in FirePoint and go to open houses and go out and network and find new prospects, but you stay in those same dead leads because you feel like a loser. The lack of prospecting makes your already stale pipeline even worse. So you sink deeper into your sales slump, get slapped with the universal law of need, and your sales days become depressing black holes of misery. Sounds pretty exaggerated. You know what? It's the absolute truth. So when that happens, you have to find your way out of that slump. So here's how you get out of a sales slump. First of all, don't get it in the first place. But if you do, here's how you get out of it. Go get on the phone and start dialing. First rule of a sales slump, when you're in one, start prospecting. Get back up to the plate and start swinging. Rule number 2, get back up to the plate and start prospecting. It's sort of like number 1, get on the phone. Ignore the fact that you're in a slump and start from zero. Just start, get on it, and then you'll start to see what happens after that. Block negative self-talk. None of this, I'm a loser, I can't close, there's no buyers. That all has to be eliminated from your mindset, or else this will not work. And number 4 is commit to daily goals. I will make 100 dials today and talk to 40 people. When you do that, you start to reverse the negative trend of the law of attraction. You start to attract opportunities to you, and by focusing on these little small daily goals, you're inching your way towards success. An example, I will make 100 dials today and talk to 40 people, or I will have 3 new buyer appointments this week. And that leads to sales success, of course. You're in complete control of your future. Success in sales is a simple equation of daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual activities. And when you prospect daily, amazing things happen. Opportunities drop into your lap out of nowhere, and we call them the rewards from the sales gods. So be fanatical. Don't let anyone stop you, because the more you prospect, the luckier you get. Prospecting sucks. It really does. And you know what? The best salespeople in the world, the top income earners, those that are the top 1% of all income earners in the entire world, are salespeople, and they prospect each and every day. Once you start to connect the dots between the activity and the success, you'll see the light, and you'll believe in that, and it'll become a part of your daily, weekly, monthly, and quarterly activities, and you'll never stop, because the luckier you work, the harder you work, the luckier you get.